What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. I'm Mike. I got my man Clayton on here, and we
Yeah,
uh
but
we was talking about a topic about we was talking about red flags in relationships, and I thought this would be a great discussion for us to have and just chop it up and we both give like what we think are the red flags in relationships, assuming that people, you know what I mean, if a person is looking for a relationship, so some things that they should look for, in the other person that they plan on dating. So,
mm,
or just going into a serious relationship with. So, you know,
mhm.
you can go ahead and get the ball rolling. Let me with some of
Well,
the
I think
red flags.
I think you got I like how you got the ball rolling, but in terms of if people looking for a relationship stuff like that. But I will
Mhm.
say that red flags aren't necessary. I just want to put this disclaimer out there. Red flags aren't necessarily bad things. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's like, to
Yeah.
me, it's just warning signs. Like, it's a stereotypical idea about that. It's just warning signs to not proceed moving forward per the things you looking for in a relationship. But
Right.
you know, me personally, I think your deal breakers or the warnings you should look for is just see if a person aligns with some of the things you value at your core. You know what I'm saying? But to
Yeah.
understand that, you really have to understand yourself and trust yourself wholeheartedly. Like really, um, be confident and be transparent about what it is you want, and not get too
Mhm.
consumed with societal standards. You know what I mean? And then just stay true to that. But yeah, what's some of your red flags though,
All
if you have it?
right. So I think like first of all, I think like the person that you were going to be with, like the people that she surround herself with, like her
Mhm,
friends and stuff like that. So
mhm,
when you first start seeing a person, they gonna
mhm,
put their best foot forward. You know what I mean? They're gonna show you the best version of themselves, or what they think is the
mhm,
best version of themselves. So
mhm,
they may not always be upfront and honest with you about who they truly are.
mhm,
So one way to gauge that is through their friends.
mm,
So the, they say that like you are like the five people that you are the average of the five people that you hang around with. So
mm,
if that'll be a way to gauge like what kind of person you dealing with,
mhm,
according to who they are associating with. So for me,
mhm,
it's important to look out, look at these people and see, who they dealing with.
mm. So you think
Yeah,
so you think that so you have the mindset that you are who you surround yourself with, right?
yeah, yeah.
All right. So even and you mentioned something. You said that best foot forward, right? So even with
Right.
that, right? There's one thing I believe, and I feel like I bear witness to, is that regardless of what they're representing, the truth has a way of revealing itself in every
Yeah.
moment. And I think everything is about vibe and frequency and vibration. So even if a person is trying to put their best foot forward, you'll catch a vibe, I believe. And I believe that
Yeah.
initial vibe is the thing that's telling us what it is. And I think a lot of times we ignore that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. Yeah. But see, and
Mhm,
that's what that like I said, that like the people that they associate with, say like for instance, like if you meet a young lady and she hang around with people who are like other young ladies who like to party all the time, and that might not be
mhm,
your thing. So all her friends are just like
mhm.
party all the time. She could be telling you, be like, I'm not really into that. I don't party like that all the time. But
Right,
if that's who she hang with, then that's who she is. You
right,
know, um,
right, right.
I had a
That's a
friend one
strong,
time.
yeah, that's a real strong indication, you know.
Right, right, right.
But as fellas, right, we got this thing as fellas, we got this thing we live by too. when we meet a girl out in the club, so if we meet her out in the club and we meet her in that kind of environment, we ain't even looking at her as wifey material or relationship material. So
That's
will
true.
you even find yourself engaging with her on that level if she, she goes out with girls and parties and stuff?
Yeah. I think some guys, when they're young and inexperienced, they might fall for something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
They may meet a young lady who is
Mhm.
it might meet somebody. You even hear about guys who meet women in the strip clubs and try to change them. You know what I mean? So men sometimes try to
Yeah.
change those kind of, women that you meet in the strip club. They try to change
Mhm.
them. So, and then some women will leave straight from the club and go to church. So you could be in
Yeah.
church and meet her in church,
Mhm.
and but it's Sunday morning, like Saturday night, she might have been at the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think so that's one way of
Mhm.
without even asking a person, a red
Right.
flag or indicator or who that person might be.
Right. Now, what if
Yeah.
but is that necessarily a red flag? Like for something, because like you said, some guys meet girls in strip clubs. So with that being said, everybody don't have the same red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think that's the first thing a person has to do. They have to identify what it is, what their core value is in a woman, right?
Right.
So that's what I was kind of asking you. Like, do you have certain red flags for you personally that you look for? You know what I mean? What is it that you
Yeah.
looking for personally?
All right. So one thing that I learned to look for was another thing. Like I said, I go by who you hang out with, and another
Mm-hmm.
indicator to me is like the mother, like the parents, like who your
Mm-hmm.
parents are, and the relationship that you have with your parents. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's important. For instance,
Right.
like I had a friend who was very disrespectful to her father, and so
Uh-huh.
immediately, that just let
Mm-hmm.
me know that if she's disrespectful to her father
Mm-hmm.
when things get hot and heavy,
Mm-hmm.
then if I'm in a relationship with her, then I can look forward to the same things.
Right. Right. So
You know what
what
I
do you
mean?
want from your woman? What do you want from your woman?
I would definitely I would want respect. You know what I mean? I would want
Respect.
loyalty. I want
Mm-hmm.
because I want to personally for me, I'm like if I'm trying to build something, then I want somebody who is going to help move that process along. I don't want to have
Mm-hmm.
to, you know what I mean? And I didn't learn that to like later on, once I got older.
Right.
A lot of people when they younger people, you get into a relationship, you just get
Mm-hmm.
into a relationship because like you think that you're supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to marry, but you a lot of people, most people don't have a plan when they get married,
Mm.
you know. But
Yeah.
until you get older, and then once you're trying to build something, you're trying to establish something, then
Mm-hmm.
then you learn that where this woman can fit into your life.
Mm. I see. So yeah. So yeah, you said some people don't have a plan to get married, but I'm gonna speak on marriage for a minute, right?
Uh-huh.
And I believe a lot of times, like, so I'm gonna get into the area of us ignoring these red flags that we ignore in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
or initially, right? So with marriage, I think some of the principles of marriage create a dynamic where we'll ignore some of the things we see up front
Mm-hmm.
because we have plans and we have aspirations to achieve certain things in life, right? So we
Yeah.
have this cliche that we live by in our community, like, or even with the marriage situation, that you have to compromise, right? So with the
Mm-hmm.
idea of compromise, then that gives you the sense of there's some things you're just gonna have to accept about that person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's not going to be the total thing. So you get so consumed with your desire to get married married and your plan and building a life and having stability and upper mobility and access, that you'll
Yeah.
see something that goes against your core and some of the things you really need essentially for your spirit and your well-being, and you'll
Mhm.
ignore it because this idea is that you have to compromise.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah. So are you saying that you feel like you shouldn't have to compromise?
I don't think you have to compromise at all. And I think too many of our
Yeah.
relationships, we're building it on the wrong premises. And this is what
Yeah.
make us ignore the warning signs early. And warning signs, again, are not bad things. It's just
Mhm.
things saying, stop, don't proceed further because this may not align with your nature. I think we need to
Exactly.
actually feed our nature more than we feed anything else. So in doing that, I think you can find a good match for your nature where you won't find yourself compromising because the things you desire and the things that person desire and the thing that would align in a sense. So this is what I
Yeah.
mean by not compromising. I've said this before. If you're a person, and it's just an example, vague example, if you're a person that do a lot of talking, then you might find a person that likes to listen. So now you
Mhm.
don't have to compromise what you do in order to fit into this relationship. You do what you do, and it finds
Mhm.
a natural fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
All
Yeah.
right. So let me
Yeah.
address like what Tom said. He said
Okay.
respectfully, forget that I'm a man. You show me who you are, and if it don't fit, goodbye. Women are the ones with the so-called intuition, but they still pick Pookie, every time. Um, that's true. And so
Mhm.
that's why I said like that's why I think that like sometimes women think they want to be in a relationship, but their actions say different. So yeah, and so if you're a guy and you're about your business and you seriously and you looking for a relationship,
Mhm.
this is why you want to look for those kind of, because if you pick the wrong person, that can, you can spend a lot of time like wasting time with this person and you trying to, build a life or build
Mhm.
something solid. So yeah, you definitely want to look at the signs. Like I said, they can
Yeah.
try to mislead you. They can try to show you whatever they want, but the signs will be there.
Shout out to Tom. But respectfully,
Yeah.
I want to ask this question.
Hmm.
The one that's going to pick Pookie every time. Can we seriously say that we can't see that in these women?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes you can. Yeah. Sometimes you can. Um, man, and sometimes it's that thing just lay dormant. You know what I mean? It'll be in her, and you might not see it for a while. That's why like I said, but you have to, as a man, you got to stay focused and stay on your purpose, because
Mm,
sometimes it'll stay, you know what I mean, like I said, it could be dormant for a while, and if it's dormant and if it don't show its head, you know what I mean, then you have to be all right. Well, this is not, it's no longer working out, then you have to separate.
mm. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't think it's dormant. I just think we're not paying attention at times. I think, and it's just one perspective. I just think that we get so consumed in what we want
Yeah.
that that's all we're looking at, what we want, and we're missing things that's right in front of us
Yeah.
at times. And I'm gonna say
Yeah.
another thing that makes us ignore sometimes these indicators, right? Is
Hmm.
our own insecurities will do that to us. And this is what I
Yeah.
mean by that, right? Um, we so consumed with the optics, we so
Hmm.
consumed with how people perceive us.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to be looked at as a person that can't find a mate. Women are strong in this area. Not all women, of course, but they don't want to
Yeah.
be a woman that can't find a man. It's men that want
Hmm.
to know that women want them and they can find a mate. And this becomes life mission. So you don't want to be a person that can't find somebody, and that's playing on your insecurity. So what you'll do is, even though you recognize something in a person, or
Hmm.
you'll be so consumed with showing people that you have somebody that you will overlook so many things that's right in front of your eyes just for the sake of saying, I have
Yeah,
somebody, I'm complete. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
yeah,
idea of public opinion runs our lives, and it'll make us ignore a lot of the indicators.
yeah, yeah. And
You
like
know?
what's going on, Greg? Yeah, and Greg,
Yeah.
that's true. Like you do, it's good to, you know what I mean, learn a woman's history.
History.
You know,
Yes.
yeah, you definitely
Yes.
want to know a history. But
Yes.
like I said, so but before you get to know her history, you know, like you still have to look for those warning signs. So, you know, that it's a good thing to be looking for those warning signs, because sometimes people don't know what it takes to be in a relationship. They may not be looking at it from a perspective of trying to build a life together, build a
Mm-hmm.
legacy together. They might just be trying to be in a relationship, like you said, for the optics of it. And they, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And some women are looking for like an easy life, especially if you're a man and you on your purpose. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing, you know, for a
Mm-hmm.
woman to be looking for somebody that's, you know what I mean, looking for an easier life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a certain amount of work and a certain amount of attention to detail that goes into building a life together,
Mm-hmm.
and a certain amount of responsibility of being with a man that's on his purpose. You know what I mean? You just can't be there for eye candy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's where some people, you know, some women get they want to live that easy life and think that they're going to be there, you know, just as eye candy, and then it
Mm-hmm.
don't work.
Mm. Well, yeah, but see, I think if you just stay true to yourself completely,
Yeah.
I don't think you'll take too many missteps. And I think, because I think our core, like what's at our heart, I just think that reveals other people. I just really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the whole idea of being disciplined and have a certain mindset, I just look at that as just staying true to yourself and staying grounded in your nature. Now, if you building something on the premise of what you bring it to the table and we can build a life together, then you actually
Mm-hmm.
are giving off an energy that's going to invite a person to come with agenda because you
With
have an agenda.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so in other words, if it ain't just
I mean,
strictly about, huh?
that would be. I mean, if it worked out like that, that would be cool. That would be that's ideal. Like, yeah, if you are a man, because I take for instance, like I don't know if we should even bring like professional athletes in it. You know what I mean? Because
You
like
can. Mhm.
sometimes, like when a woman see like a entertainer or an athlete,
Mhm.
she go after him, she may not be looking for uh you know, to bring and to contribute to what he had. It may not even occur to her to try to contribute to what he had. She think that it's enough for her to just to be there.
Mm.
When you know, you don't know what that man need in his life in order for him to take his life or to the next level, as far as like building a legacy. She think
Mhm.
it's just good enough for her to be there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because you have to be inside that intent of the man. See, I just
Mm-hmm.
think the way the man presents things in the beginning, he can actually create that kind of mindset or that idea for that woman. Just depends on how things start initially. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
I know you reading that. I know you reading that comment.
Yeah, I was reading what time. Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically saying how he grew up,
Mm-hmm.
and the music and the Ohio players and stuff like that. And see,
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing. Like we growing up in a different
Mm-hmm.
where people, like back when we grew up, like our fathers listened to that kind of music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the music had a message to it, a positive message most of the time, and it was, you know, more so about love and stuff like that. And that was cool, but you know, you still had relationships and stuff that didn't make it. You know what I mean? But I think relationships probably, to me, I thought they were better back in the day. But you know,
let me ask you a question. Do you think the man can create an environment that can encourage a woman to think that it's just okay for her to just be there?
Yeah.
See, to me, the way it starts is everything. The initial interaction is everything to me. And I think individuals can set the tone for what they want.
Exactly. Like, like I said, if you, and see, part of that may be like, I don't want to say how you came into your money, but say like if you're a person, if you came into your money fast and you didn't have to have and you didn't really, you may have worked for it, but not in a you know, like if you came into money fast, for instance, and you don't know that when you bring people into your circle, and this don't even have to be about relationships, because this is how people go broke. People who come into money all of a sudden, when you come into money all of a sudden, you know, like, and you didn't have to work and have structure for that money like other people do, then you don't respect that money the way people do. Like if you're a man and you on your purpose, a lot of times you're not gonna let just any old woman just come into your life and disrupt your purpose. But if you're a man and you know, if you hit the lottery some kind of way, or you hit the genetic lottery and you became a professional athlete, then you're not going to be as likely to be a person that can to recognize those kind of situations. You know what I mean? You're going most likely you're going to learn the hard way.
Yeah, but I mean, again though, it just depends on what you covet. You know, if that person covets that, then it's like that's going to be, you know, that's going to be a situation where however way that woman affected his money is going to have a negative effect on him. But I just don't know if everybody covets the same things in terms of relationships, and you know what they need, what they don't need, what, you know what I'm saying? I don't think the only warning sign you need to be looking out for is what a woman is going to do financially and what she's going to bring to the relationship. I just think it's so much more than that, you know?
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but if, you know, like,
because peace is important to me. Peace is very important to me, right? And I know that material things and stuff won't garner peace. Money won't garner peace. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. Right. So the person that's going to share my life, or I'm going to share life with, has to match up and align with me in a certain way, so I can still maintain and dwell in that peace. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm being too consumed with the material and the money, I'm kind of disrupting my own peace with that.
Yeah, you working against yourself. Yeah. So let me ask you this though. So like, were you like when you younger, in your younger years, did you demand that type of respect and that type of environment around you, or did you, before you knew better, did you, you know?
When I was younger, I was insecure and obsessive. So my obsessive nature made me ignore red flags. Like it was never about what a woman was bringing to a table financially, nothing, because I was always chasing a dollar and struggling, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I never was sitting on a whole abundance of money. So that was never a thing, but I was chasing material things. And my thing was, I was just obsessive. And I wanted to control what the woman did per my heart, not my bank account. You know what I'm saying? And but it was several times, man, I would ignore red flags, like the way I met a female. You know, I'd be so infatuated with her looks aesthetically, and she could be dealing with a guy. I met a woman one time in a bar. She was dealing with a guy, but the way she presented it, I ignored it. I knew better, but I ignored it. It's like, oh, we over with this, that, and the other. And the first thing that flashed in my mind, it's gonna be a problem later, but I ignored it. So guess what happened? It took a while, but guess what happened? In about a year and a half, that became a problem. So I
Yeah.
ignored what flashed in my mind initially, but it was all due to my own insecurities and wanting to have some girl that looked so good in my life because of how people looked at me and how it would make me appear to people. You know what I mean? But it was never, and this is when I was young. So, but it was never about finances, a certain level of respect or whatever. I just wanted somebody to love hard like I love, like love me hard as I love you. And I wanted to possess you. And I realized that shit just created my problems, wanting to possess it and control it, But anyway, I don't know if that answered what you asked me, but
yeah. So that just lead me to say, so all right, so when you start focusing on being a better version of yourself, then that changed your mindset. Do you think if if people start focusing on being a better version of yourself, then that changes your mindset?
Well, I mean, yeah, because what happens is, like, I wouldn't say I focused on it, but it's an evolution process that just happened, right? So, but what happens is it changes your mindset because your mind opens up. You become more open-minded. And now through the mindfulness, you see things totally different. You know what I'm saying? So you don't, I have no desire to control any goddamn thing,
Yeah.
But
Well,
I am going to stay true to
me,
myself. So,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
To me, it's more about self-control and like self-control. Yeah, I don't think you can really, you should really try to control other people. I think it's self-control. And then, like I said, you try to align yourself with people that fit into your life, or people who fit with your core, your core beliefs. So like, all right, so let me say this, like another red flag would be like, and you just said this, like a woman with a cheating history. Like, so like if you had a guy deep into conversation, because that's how some women, they were like, well, he work all the time, he don't show me no attention, he abusive. And so that's a red flag. That's one of the red flags I got down here. Like a woman with a cheating history, that's a red flag. And like when you was young, like you said, you knew in the back of your mind that that's not,
Oh, Mike, it flashed instantly. It flashed instantly, but I ignored it. I ignored it, and then I wound up learning that lesson. But yeah, that is the red flag. I wouldn't necessarily,
for so many reasons. Like if she'll cheat on another dude, then definitely she'll cheat on you. And then on top of that, if, like you say, if peace is a part of, like, if you want peace in your life, then bringing this kind of woman into your life is definitely working against you to bring her into your life.
Right.
So
now I'm gonna ask you.
All right, go ahead.
Was it always as easy for you to navigate relationships based on the things you saying? Like you asked me about when I was young. Have you ever ignored red flags?
Oh yeah, I ignore all of them. I ignore all of them, yeah. Because I didn't have no life experience. You know what I mean? I had no life experience. All I know is that, you know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna get a job and get a girl, and you know what I mean? We're gonna get together and we're gonna have a family, but it's not that simple. You know what I mean? Just for instance, I know I met a young lady one time, right? And we dated for probably about a few months, about 4 or 5 months before I introduced her to my mother and my grandmother. And we dated for months. And instantly, when my grandmother saw her and talked to her, my grandma was like, she knew this. Nah, she not gonna work. This not gonna work. And I was like, how you know? You know what I mean? But she told me, because as a matter of fact, what happened was we had a cookout. We had a family function. So her parents were there, and then my grandmother and my mother came, and met her parents. Well, met her mother and her parents, and then my mother and grandma was like, "No, this not gonna. We can tell that she not conducive for somebody. She nice, but she not somebody who's going to be the kind of person that can be in a long-term stable relationship." And I was like, you don't understand, you don't know, you don't know like I know. And then so but everything that they was able to immediately see that she wasn't that, she wasn't that one.
Yeah, and that shit just lead to heartbreak, man. Sometimes it lead to heartbreak. I remember a friend of mine and his girl, like I had a crush on the girl. Friend of mine was with her. I just had such a crush on her. And then she kind of came to me like, I don't mess with him no more, you know. And then Valentine's Day rolled around. Now I'm seeing her on the low, right, Mike? Because I don't want to tell my friend, but she told me they broke up. So, but it was a flat. I knew the fact that she was dealing with him, but quick to come kick it with me, right? So what happened was her mother wound up putting my name and her name on their door for Valentine's Day. But my friend goes to the house and sees my name on the door with his girl, right? And man, that was just like a mess up situation. But then full circle, I explained to him, I put him on three-way so he could hear that she told me they was over, right? Moving forward, full circle, she wound up doing the same thing to me. Somebody else, so yeah. Man, you got that's crazy.
So look, Tom said, what he said, my pops always said women are selfish, including your mother. I don't care how much you love her, she's selfish, but came a long way. So what you got to say about that?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing too. When we really start recognizing life for what it is, we really start understanding mothers, sisters, but even us, we selfish to a sense too, because we set these expectations and we want women to conform to an idea of what we have they should be. Right. And that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, everybody, I think every human being is selfish. It's human nature to be selfish to some degree. So, you could always flip that the other way around. Am I allowing that woman? Am I accepting that woman for who she is? Or am I trying to make that woman over and make her conform to my idea? You see?
Well, that's true. But all right. So, but what I think he probably trying to say is like, all right, so as little boys, and then we grow into men, right? We see our mothers in a certain light.
Yes, we do.
You know what I mean? So we see our mothers in a certain light. So especially if we come from like single parent, you know what I mean? Like the father not there, or we see our mothers in a certain light. So because we see our mothers in a certain light, we don't always acknowledge or even think that they might have faults. Like some women.
So now when we're young, you're right. You're right. Yeah, not when we're young. We put them on a pedestal. But that's why I said when you start seeing life for what it is, you lose that idea of your mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So like the fact that we don't see. So that's why I think like having the father in your life, and especially a strong father figure, to balance that off, so you can get to see like both sides of that. You know what I mean? And you get a good representation, because not that that the woman is wrong, but it's it's something that you got to look out for, and something that you got to be aware of. Like as a man, we can't. As men, we cannot operate and move in this world the same way women, you know what I mean, the way they do. As far as I'm concerned, we can't operate and move the way they move, especially,
So how do you think they can move? How do you think we should move? How do you think they move and we should move? Like I'm trying to understand you when you say that.
Well,
give me an example.
Well, for instance, like like I said, like we are supposed to, most of the time we are going to be like protectors and providers. And so that their roles a lot of times definitely they can't they you know, most of the time they're not going to be the protector. So if you're not the protector, then, or if you're limited as a protector, then you're then the way you move and the way you operate and the way you go about getting protection is going to be different than what how a man moves and operates as far as like protecting and providing. So it's flawed for us to use them as an example. You can use them as basic example, like, you know what I mean? Like a mother can teach a son to be a good person. She can teach a son to be respectful, you know, and things like that. Like, you know, like basic things like that. But as far as like to operate and move in this world as a man, I think she'll you know, she'll fall short. I think that's why, you know, I appreciate my mother. She recognized that she was a single mother, and she used to tell me she used to make, you know, have my uncles, you know what I mean? Like if certain things that I wanted to talk to her about, she used to you know, she'd be like, look, you need to talk to your uncles about this, or and she made sure that I spent time with my uncles, you know. So that to me was I appreciate the fact that she acknowledged that, you know, that she certain roles, you know, or certain answers she wouldn't be able to have for me. She'd be able to give me her point of view, which is a woman's point of view. But you know, that would, you know.
Yeah, my mother was similar in that regard. So I understand. It just sounds like they staying true to who they are.
Right,
You know?
And knowing that, you know, like as a young man, that we needed, you know, we needed to bounce some of our thoughts and our ideas off, you know, another man in your life. So I think that some women who try to fulfill that role just do their young sons a disservice. You know, when they try to fulfill that role. So all right, so let me read like what I had. All right, so for my red flags. Now the first red flag I said was like the friends. You can get a good you can get a good judge on like the kind of friends she hang with. Then I said the parents, you know what I mean? It's important. And I said the parents from the perspective of like what her relationship is, especially with her father. If she don't have a good relationship with her father, or if she disrespectful, then I think that that's not a good sign. We talked about cheating. Like if she cheat and try to justify cheating, you know, with like he worked too much, he abusive, or, you know, for any excuses like he made me, you know what I mean? Not taking accountability for being the kind of person that cheats. Now, let's go into this one. I wrote this one down. A woman, like, have you ever met a woman that needs who needs constant validation?
Yes.
And do you think that that is a red flag?
It depends on you as a person, what you need, what you're looking for. It can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would be for me in my relationships, it would be.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we got this term we float around talking about being evenly yoked and all this. And I don't look at it in terms of being evenly yoked as bringing the same things to the table. I just believe evenly yoked is having the same understanding. So when a woman is demonstrating that kind of behavior, needing validation, I know her and I don't share the same understanding. We're not living inside of the same understanding. So that would be a red flag for me, that we don't align truly. And she'll be using me in our relationship as a form of validation in life. So that'll be the priority. It won't be the relationship, it'll be the validation. That would be the priority in our life.
Yeah. So now, what you think about this, what Tom says? So all right, Urban, we are selfish as men, yes, but not to our families, our families.
I take my hat off to men that's not selfish to their family, but that doesn't speak to every man. I had a father that was very selfish in regards to his family and kids. You know, he he had to do, he wanted to do what he had to do. And a lot of times children was neglected.
Mhm.
So that's just individual based. I respect that, but I just think,
Yeah,
what I would say to Tom is every human being is selfish. You do nothing selfless. Even that man that's providing for his family, a lot of
yeah,
times he's doing that because of the perception of him, and he's also doing that with the understanding that he's doing the right thing. So doing the right
yeah.
thing gives him a good image. You understand?
All right,
And then some people are doing that because it makes them feel good to provide, but you're still
right,
getting
right.
something for that.
Well, let me say this. All right. So
Mhm.
say like if you're in a house, you growing up in a household and you got the mother and the father there. And
Mhm.
I'm using a friend of mine as an example. Like
Mhm.
his father working, his mother was the homemaker, right? And his
Mhm.
father dressed nice, and his father, he like his father liked to dress and like to have nice clothes and nice things.
Mhm.
So, but the mother, her focus was more on the kids, and she made sure that the kids had nice clothes and nice things like that. But he mainly wanted to make sure that like when he went outside the house that he,
He was fly. Mhm.
he was fly, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that like a father being selfish is a bad thing, and a mother being like the
Mhm.
what do you call the woman that she is like the I'm missing the word right here.
She's
She is
very humble spirit, very nurturing, humble
yeah,
caretaker, not
right, yeah,
concerned
she
about her looks and
right,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
she the caretaker. All right,
Right.
so like the father being selfish like that, or I don't even want to say so because I
Well,
believe as a father, as a father, like everything that I had, like if I got kids
mhm.
and I can, you know what I mean, and I can afford to buy myself a pair of shoes, $200. I'm not going to
Mhm.
buy that. I'm not going to buy my kid $200 shoes because I don't feel like everything I earned. I work and I earned those $200 shoes. That's number
Okay.
one. Number two, I don't feel like a kid like should have. You need to respect. The only way you learn how to respect money is you got to work towards that. So me giving you a pair of $200 shoes and you young like that, to me, it's just it works against like what I'm trying to, the way I'm trying to raise you and the way I'm trying to bring you up. And
Okay. Mhm.
I experienced this, with my daughter Mikey, right?
Mhm.
She had she had almost every kind of pair of tennis shoes, coming on when she was young.
Mhm.
And I didn't want her to have all that. So that was like a point of contention for me and her mother, because I was like, I don't want her to have, you know what I mean? Like I come home and man, she had, like I said, I
Mhm.
come home and she had 2, 3 new pairs of tennis shoes. And so, but yeah, I
Mhm.
felt like as a father though, if
Yeah, that was your intentions for that, right? You had a it was a method to your madness. Mike,
how
you
we don't
froze
hear me.
up on me, bro.
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, my fault. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
we
a
back.
message. It was a method to your madness. It wasn't just
Yeah.
trying to deprive her of anything. You was
No,
trying
no,
to
no, no.
you was trying to
Yeah.
bring something out of her. Yeah,
Right,
I
right,
feel you
yeah.
on that. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this about that. Sometimes I just want to say this about that. Sometimes um it goes a little deep. Like, so sometimes we don't
Yeah.
have enough faith in our children's genetic makeup and what they're gonna naturally get from us. So
Yeah.
you can take a child and you can give a child any and everything, but that doesn't necessarily mean that child is not going to appreciate hard work and working and earning. Some kids reject that because they have a desire in them to want to get it on their own.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So sometimes, like, I just look at you, that's your nature. I just believe some of your nature will be in your child. And she may have that same kind of desire in her to want to go get it for herself. Naturally, she might evolve into that. I'm not saying,
I
I'm
didn't
just giving another
right, yeah.
perspective on it. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, let me before I answer you, before I reply to that,
Mhm.
Tom said, was my father selfish with his? Yeah, he was selfish with his time.
My
You
father was
know,
selfish with his time.
yeah, my
Exactly.
father was selfish with his time.
My,
But let me say,
selfish with his time and his money, because what
yeah,
happens is we develop these addictions, right? So
mm-hmm,
believe it or not, whatever the addiction is, that's going to garner most of your money. So you
mm,
become selfish in that regard because you have to feed your addiction. And my dad, he used to like to gamble and stuff like that.
yeah.
So it made him very selfish with his money at times. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cut you, Mike, but I
No,
wanted to
no,
touch on that. Mhm.
yeah, and I think when you find out when you doing business with people how
Mhm.
important time is. You know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
you call somebody and you try to set up an interview, or you try to set up a meeting so you can do business with people, and the first
Mhm.
thing you do, like you know what I mean, first you want to pitch something to them. The first thing they do when you get in the office is they look at their watch and they let you know you
Mhm.
want to clock. You know, you all
Mhm.
right, you got 3 minutes. And
Mhm.
so I think that it's a lesson to be learned in that too, because people, you might not like it at the time, you know what I mean? But people need to be able to appreciate your
Mhm.
time. You know, like
Mhm.
now, you know, like my time, I don't like to waste other people's time. And I
Mhm.
definitely don't like people to waste my time. So
Mhm.
yeah, you have to be that. I mean, time is to me is like my number one commodity is time.
When I was a kid, I didn't even really care about getting stuff from my dad. I just wanted
Yeah,
to be in his presence.
right.
And me
Exactly.
not being able to be in his presence, I felt like he was being real selfish with his time. I just
Hmm.
wanted to be with him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
he had other desires that was driving him. So yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Some of that existed. And to be honest with you, part of him is in me. Because there was
yeah.
times where I was selfish with my time when it came to my daughter because of my own addictions. So,
Right,
you
right.
know what I'm saying? It wasn't learned behavior necessarily, but it was something innate inside of me, you know? So, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So let me see. All right, so let
What
me
you say?
see. When you buying and giving your child, you are turning them into your mother. Yeah.
Not necessarily though.
I think see because like the way because of like me growing up and I ain't have a lot of stuff when I was growing up. That's why
Mhm.
like my experience is what made me look at things the way I looked at it. So like, you know, I was willing to work for what I had, what I got when I was
Mhm.
young. And that's what
Mhm.
I wanted, you know, for my kids. I wanted them to have that same mentality, like, you know, like
Mhm.
work for what you're gonna get. You know, don't you just because you cute little Mikey, you know what I mean? Don't expect people to give you this or give you that. Be
Let
willing
me
to
ask you
work.
this question. Did you have to work for what you got?
Oh yeah, I did.
You had to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
felt
so
like, yeah,
that's part of the dynamic too. I know you
yeah, that's
said you
why.
was willing to work for it, but
Yeah, yeah,
some of that is if you was gonna have anything, you had to.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was my situation. Yeah, yeah.
You said you had to work for it too?
Yeah, because my mother was single mother, so
Yeah,
her dollar only stretched me so far. So if I
yeah,
wanted certain things, I had to work. But I'm being honest with you, I always wished that I could make it easier for, like, I didn't want my daughter to feel that way,
yeah,
me personally, but I understand it. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because you feel like preparing your daughter for this world and what it is. Like that to me, I salute that.
Right, right,
I
right.
salute that. Yeah, but
So, yeah. So, all right, what to say? You are turning your kids into a future, I guess you red flags, not making them work for their desires. Yeah, that's true. You know, I think because you know, like I said, everything is earned, you know, and if you make them work for the things that they want, everything is earned.
yeah, but
So,
I'm just saying in every case that's not true because they don't understand a person's genetic makeup. It's some
yeah,
people that just have a desire to go out and create and earn and make something happen for themselves, regardless of what their parents do for them. That's not
yeah,
necessarily for every case. And people think that I'm going to make my child into something. Your child is already what that child is. You bring it out. So that's not necessarily true. You know, it's a lot of people that it's a lot of kids that want to do, they have this innate desire to do something for themselves.
Yeah.
Even when they find themselves in a position of privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to offer another perspective on that.
Yeah. I think though, like when you're in a position of privilege though, you are like your margin for error is greater. You know what I mean? Like when you come from humble beginnings, you know, you don't have a large margin for error as like somebody who was born into privilege. So your margin for error is greater, and your opportunities may be greater depending on, you know, how much money and wealth your family have, you know. So yeah.
So you think that turns, so the margin of error being bigger, you think that, so what is that? You think that creates something more courage in that person to go out and try, or wanted to, because they got something to fall back on?
I think I don't know. I think like some skills can be like instilled in kids, and you can, you know, you can prepare a kid. I just think that like they say, like most money is new money. So and the reason for that is people are hungry. You know what I mean? If you're not eating, you hungry. And so if you know, if one person is already born into privilege and they don't know, they don't have to hunt like you gotta hunt, and then they have to get into they got to get into that same job market as you get into, then you are going to outperform. You know what I mean? That person that's hungry is going to outperform that person that may not be as hungry and may not have that type of drive.
It depends. Again, it depends, because hunger is good and it gives you motivation. But if somebody's doing something that they naturally innate to do, they were born to do, they're gonna be able to do that with ease.
Yeah.
And while you over here working hard, and you can be looking at this person like, why is it so easy to that person? It's because that's what they was just naturally born to do. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't necessarily equate to you going to outwork them. Not necessarily.
Well,
I mean, I don't care how much a person works in track to try to get fast. They'll never be faster than Usain Bolt, because he was born to be the fastest guy. You understand what I'm saying? So and they could be real hungry for it, you know. But it's just a natural thing, you know.
Yeah. So look, now I was gonna read. Tom said, when I was growing up, I had to cut grass, wash cars, shovel snow to make money. Nothing came easy in life. Only today, lazy kids. You know, I agree. I used to cut grass, shovel snow, do all that stuff. Yeah, and then, but when, you know what I did though, when I started my business, and I had a carpet cleaning business, I used to take my kids with me and let them, you know, let them work, let them, you know, so they can see what it was like, you know. So I think that's why it's good to instill that in your kids.
Right. He made a good point. You made a good point, but I like what he said. I had to. So now I'm a kid. I was the youngest, and I was spoiled, and I didn't have to.
Right.
But what made me do it is because I wanted to, because it was things I desired that my mom just couldn't get me. So now I have a desire in me to go work, go do things, because I wanted things. But I didn't have, like as a kid, I didn't have to cut grass. I didn't have to do this. I went and cut grass, and I went and worked at a part-time job because of my desire for things.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But I didn't have to. My mother was getting me things, and I had nice things. I just wanted more. So that more made me, you understand what I'm saying? So, but I feel them on that. I cut grass too, bro. I used to do it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And I used to cut grass. It depended on what
Mm-hmm.
season. The season determined what kind of job I had.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
What?
A child who has ever take care of you. Um, yeah, I think I'm not sure I think like if you I think the way you raise your kid too, it'll make them you know, you'll be more likely to have a kid that's gonna stick by you and take care of you when you get older.
Mm.
So all right, let me see. All right, so we spoke about validation, right? Like
Yeah.
women who need validation.
Yeah.
And let me see. All right, what about another red flag could be a woman who constantly talk bad about her ex and bring her ex up. Is that a red
Mm.
flag?
To me,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an indication that there's some things inside of her that's unsettling because
Yeah.
it's never just that person. So to me, at this stage, if I meet a woman and she's constantly doing that, I understand there's something unsettling inside of her. She's not at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then here again, we don't share the same understanding. So yeah, that
Yeah.
would be one too. That would be an indicator for me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, look, when I said somebody text me and say your ass you cut grass and shovel snow so you can get donuts. You know I like donuts. But you
Exactly.
know
Hey, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
That was one of the things that was one of the things I wanted to eat sweets all the time. So that
Yeah.
was part of it, just having that
Yeah,
money to
yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep,
definitely.
yep.
Because I knew my mother she wasn't gonna let me buy that junk food all the time
She
like
wasn't
that.
gonna
So I
let you buy
definitely
it. Yep.
I got
But if
my
you
own
got
money.
your own money, yep.
Yeah, I eat what I want.
Me and Fonzo used to go up to 7-Eleven. Boy, I have a knot from cutting grass, maybe like
Yeah,
a 20 on top, whole bunch of ones. I get them Suzy Q's, strawberry milk, quick, all that good stuff.
yeah,
You took
man.
me back with that, bro. You took me back.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely I could eat what I want once I got some money. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, man. So all right,
yeah.
what's she say? Privilege causes people to think they have more chances or can get away with things more because they always acquire the next thing without consequences. Yeah, that's true. You know, and that's why I say people who are you know, you have more what is it called? More margin for error. You know what I mean? When you
But
I
but I think but I think that's great though.
yeah,
Even so, I think it's great to feel that way. So everybody needs different things to motivate them and to
yeah,
get them in a mindset of being determined to carve out the life they want to live. So if it
mhm,
takes you being privileged and you feel like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm not worrying about the consequence. I'll just do the next thing. I just do the next thing. That's a determination thing inside of you. That's a
mhm,
sense of knowing, and I think that's good. Now, for the person that feel like they have less margin of error, and that motivates them to really go hard at certain things and don't waste certain opportunities. That's good too. Like I think
mhm.
both are good. Like we just trying to make it seem like there's only one blueprint.
Yeah,
And I just don't think there's one blueprint for anything. And then those that don't have the privilege, we tend to
yeah,
look at those that do have the privilege and we chastise them for having it in a sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but that's true though. I mean, that's a fact. I understand it. Definitely understand it. Yeah.
So Tom says, man don't make excuses. We get the job done. There's no crying in fatherhood 101.
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We don't get to make excuses, man.
I,
And
I'm just going to say, Tom, I've met some men that did.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know some dudes that make excuses too. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
know
tell
some.
you, man. My greatest red flag. Can I share that now?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, go
So
ahead.
this is my greatest red flag, and this is the only red flag that I have at this stage of my life. When I meet a female and in the conversation I hear her telling me all the things I could be, or all the things I should be doing, or you could do this or you could do that. You know, you got this, you could be doing. Anybody that's trying to get me to be something other than what I am,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the flag right there.
Yeah.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
all the other stuff, what you do for a living, all that doesn't matter. If I'm free to be who I am in a relationship, you accept me for who I am, that's the one for me.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
minute you start trying to, you know, make me be something that I'm not, or not accepting what I am, trying to coerce me into doing other things, that's a red flag.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
now that kind of leads into my next red flag.
Okay.
Like, does that person that you choose to be with, like, do they bring out the best in you? So
No. Yeah, I'm listening.
yeah, so like, all right, so like, no matter, like, and that goes into, like, all right, so whatever you doing, whatever you trying to build, like are they doing something to contribute to that, or are they just along for the ride? And so if they can contribute to what you building and what you're trying to accomplish, then that's a good sign. But if they come and they just along for the ride, and like you said, they trying to trying to get you to do other things outside of what you want to do or what you're supposed to be doing, yeah, then that's a red flag.
Right. Because to me
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
you're trying to shape me per the aesthetics and what you want your friends to see that you have. It ain't about
right.
our relationship no more. But as far as somebody coming along for me personally, along for the ride, yeah, I want them to be focused on their own life's purpose. It may not their life purpose. They have their own thing to fulfill, and we share our happiness. So I don't need them necessarily to contribute to what I'm doing, because I think wherever you're going is destined. I just think I need them to just allow me freedom and share my joy and share joy with me. Like, I don't need all that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So the people,
So
so the contributions to where I'm going and what I'm doing, I think those things will align with me. It doesn't have
yeah,
to come in the form of my woman.
yeah. Well, I mean, all right. So, like, all right. So if it like, what's her purpose of being there then?
What's her purpose of being there?
Yeah, like, what will be your woman's purpose for being with you? If you know what I mean.
I like to
If
share affection. I like to share time,
yeah,
intimacy, conversation, love, intercourse, a place to just rest, a place to
yeah,
rest. I'm not looking for somebody to help me build.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Those
Well,
people will come. Hmm?
yeah. Well, I mean, build in a sense, like, build, like, in a sense of, like, y'all, like, yeah, you building a life together, because that's the person that's, like you said, going to be to y'all, going to be with each other in intimate ways, not just in the bedroom, but like the time
No.
that you spend getting to know each other, like you building up trust with this person, you building up, y'all having good times, y'all creating memories and a legacy, right? So, like, and then on top of that, so, like, if you with a person, that person that you have built that life with, and say, like,
Hmm.
a man and a woman together for years, and the man gets sick.
Hmm.
And I told you about, you know what I mean, like the situation when
Yeah.
my mother
Right.
got sick.
Right.
So, like, the woman that he wanted to be by his side when he was sick was the person that had built that life together. They had built that, they spent good times together, they spent bad times together, but they had enough of that stuff together, whereas though he knew that she was going to be able to comfort him
Hmm.
when he needed her. And I think that that's important. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean about building a life. I don't mean like if a man and woman is together and he comfortable with his woman not working, then that's cool.
Mhm.
But she can't be there just for the sake of being there. They gotta be building together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just think I understand what you're saying. I guess I just don't define it as that. Like I just
Yeah.
feel like when you connect with a person on that level, some things are just innate based on, you know, how you care about that. You know what I mean? I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so in other words, I'm not putting stock in you for you to be there for me and take care of me later. I'm spending time with you because of where it feels when I'm with you. I'm not
Mm.
doing it trying to set my future a certain way, or I'm not trying to build trust and all that. One thing I know for sure, if I stay true to myself, if I can't trust you, that's going to be revealed. It's nothing
Mm.
I can do to build that trust.
Yeah.
I don't care what
I
you
mean,
do. You can't build
yeah.
it. You
I
just,
just think that like when people start spending like a lot of time together, they
mhm.
are like when you spending, and they spending a lot of time together, they just, that's like equity being built. Especially, you know what I mean? You were somebody and y'all both of y'all able to be at peace with each other. You know what I mean? You had a
Mhm.
you in a house, y'all in peace, y'all at peace with each other, y'all
Mhm.
comfortable with each other, y'all trust
Mhm.
each other and stuff like that. So, when I say that, I'm not even talking about the money part of it. I'm just talking
No, I know
about like
you're
the
not.
emotion.
You saying right. But let me say this. Let me share this scenario with. Have you ever heard of relationships where you with a person for a long time and you quote unquote getting to know each other and all that, but then you come to find out that that shit had a season.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I don't think you can build these things. I think here again for me it's moments. I'm just
yeah,
in the moment. And I try to find somebody that when I connect with them, it feels so good that I want to spend another moment with them. And then from there, it feels good. I want to spend another moment with them. And then after a while, those moments string along and they become a lifetime. But I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just always looking to feel good. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, Mike. I'm not
yeah,
thinking about nothing else when it comes to my woman. I just want to feel
yeah,
good. And not feel good ain't sex. It ain't in the bedroom. It's just feeling good. You know what I mean?
yeah. So all right, so they say most women will walk out on a man today, but not back in the day. Women, if you like old school big mama. Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of times, like I think, and see, that's what these red flags is about, because I think as you get older and you get more experience, then you can recognize people who not who may not be for you. And then like it's and not to say that everything is not a guarantee, because it might be for a season,
Hmm.
but like I said, um I know like the guy, I know he got sick. He left his wife.
Hmm.
He got sick. He came down with cancer. It was terminal. And he probably had been away from his wife for like about 6 months or so. He got sick.
Hmm.
In the process of getting a divorce, but
Hmm.
that was the person he ran back to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When he got sick, that was the person he ran back to because of the time they had spent together. He knew he could trust her, and
Hmm.
that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes
Right.
people, it could be for a season, but if you make better choices, I think, if you make choices built on, like, if you have some type of knowledge and experience, or somebody who can help guide you, I think you make
I
better
got you.
choices.
And I
Yeah.
and I think and I think we make the best choice when we focus on compatibility per who we are as people. Because if you really start understanding life, you realize that nobody is really giving you guidance.
Yeah.
And that person, he went back to where he knew he could get his help. And you and I was talking about this. The thing is he had what he needed in that moment, regardless of who it came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily, you know. And I saw that a comment that was it Tom? Something about a woman to help you grow. I think
Oh no,
growth
that
is
was
inevitable.
yeah. All right. So yeah, so Sarah do
Yeah.
say you should want a woman to help you grow. Now
Growth is inevitable. It's inevitable.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable.
So you think wisdom automatically comes with age?
I won't necessarily say automatic with age, but I think wisdom is a process of evolving and the mind evolving and your consciousness evolving. Growth is automatic and it's inevitable.
Yeah. So yeah, Sarah, let me know what you think about that. Do you think that growth is inevitable? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know like do you know anybody like in your past, male or female, that has the same mindset that you had when we was, you know what I mean? Like anybody from our old neighborhood that got the same mindset that they did, and sometimes you'll talk to me like, man, this dude's still the same.
Well, I have a person in my life, but I realized that even in that, they still have experienced some growth.
Yeah.
It's just not, you know what I mean? Like nothing. This is why I say
growth.
Right. Well, it's the growth per their experience, right? So this is why I say growth is inevitable. And this is a concept sometimes hard to get our head around. Nothing is at a standstill. Nothing in life is at a standstill. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah, it's just like nothing's at a standstill.
So everybody's growing, but some people growing at a faster pace than others.
It's just at a different thing. It's a different pace, different frequency, different, but nothing's at a standstill. Even that person seems like they own the same things. If they're able to understand and comprehend your conversation to some degree, even if they start expressing similar points that they used to, being able to comprehend it shows that they have experienced some growth. Yeah. Because they can get their head around it enough to even respond to it.
So although they grow, and they may not be just like, they could be growing, but not using the information, not implementing the, the skills.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the hardest things, man, is to apply what we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I mean, so we basically like, all right, we basically covered everything. You know what I mean? As far as like all the red flags, we talked about, the friends, like the people that she surround herself with. We talked about the parents. You know what I mean? And the parents reflect her upbringing, and also the parents reflect her state of mind. Cheating, you know what I mean? Like if this is a person who will who don't take accountability, who just try to justify different things, her downfalls by making excuses. We talked about people who need validation. Like, you know what I mean? They need validation from people outside of the person that they in a relationship with, whether it be social media, or they might dress in a provocative way, you know what I mean, that they know is going to get them attention. We talked about a woman who speaks about her relationship constantly, her ex, that could be a red flag. Sharing the same core values, like it's important for a woman to share the same core values as you do.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, that could be a red flag and mean that she's not the person for you.
Hey, and with that, you have to recognize when you don't share her core values as well.
Yeah.
It's not just for her to, you know what I mean? It's not just about her not sharing yours. you may not share hers. But go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you, but I just wanted to
No,
touch
no,
on
I was just thinking. I was like, all right, so
it.
yeah, I mean, y'all, both of y'all should have,
Yeah.
yeah, just share core values.
Yeah.
And then the last one I had was like, do she bring the best out of you or encourage you to be the best you can be, the best you can be?
And nothing.
You know?
And the only thing that can bring the best out of you is you.
Yeah.
As long as you're looking for someone else to bring the best out of you, you'll never be the best person you could be.
All right.
Never.
I'm gonna push back on that by giving you a sports analogy.
Go ahead, go for it.
This.
Go for
we
it.
talked
Go
about
for
this.
It. Go for it.
Would Muhammad Ali have been the fighter that he was without Joe Frazier?
Yes.
You think he would have been the fighter that he was without Joe Frazier? He didn't need Joe Frazier. Him and Joe Frazier, they took each other to a level that I don't think either one of them would have went to without each other.
If you wouldn't have say that Ali wouldn't have experienced that epic battle,
yeah,
without him, without that energy, yeah. But Ali was who he was. It's just that's who he was. Ali was who he was, bro. Ali was who he was.
And Frazier was who he was, but I'm talking about that performance level that they went to. That performance level that those two dudes, they challenged each other on a level that. So
what you tap into, what you able to tap into when certain phenomena cross your path, doesn't mean that's making you who you are. That's just giving you an experience of a level in which you're able to reach. But the only reason you're able to reach that level through the competition dealing with Joe is because of who you are.
Yeah.
No, you ain't grasping that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, man, I'm just thinking like, I mean,
they reached the level. They reached the level.
I can agree that it definitely had to be in both of them. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have been able to fight either one of them cats like that. You know what I mean? And perform like that.
Because that's not who you are. Right.
Exactly. That's not in me. So it definitely got to be in you.
Right.
But even like that, even that said, if you're the kind of person that don't fight back at all, after a while you would get tired. You know what I mean? Even though you're not going to beat, you definitely going to fight back. And so I'm thinking that, you know, that's going to take you to a different level. But let me Greg said that out of divorce, women initiated 70% of the time. And that's true. We ain't really get into that. I hear that said a lot. Like, women do initiate divorce a lot. And I don't know why you think it's why women initiate divorce so much. Or the majority of the time.
Yeah, I'll just say, I guess what this society promotes. So many people are conditioned by money and material, right? And upper mobility. And when you look at the society and how divorce seems to skew toward a woman being rewarded money and half of this and half of that, and you get the pension and things of this nature. Then they go into relationships. Well, people in general go into relationships building it on the wrong foundation, period. They go in building on a foundation of how it's going to help me financially and economically. So with that being said, you know, it makes sense to me that a woman would initiate it more, trying to get that money grab. It makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So many people are conditioned by that.
Yeah. And see, that's why it's important, I think, to look for red flags, man, because you wanna avoid these kind of situations, you know.
But see that right there. Stay right there. That's the point I was trying to make earlier. To me, that's the greatest red flag. It's like, and men don't realize that they could be creating the condition for that. So we try to win women over by becoming successful, having money, and saying, this is what I can offer you, stability, a roof over your head and stuff like that. but then we want them to match it or bring certain things to the table, which creates a larger pot. And now you got a woman that's driven by these things, and now you're in a relationship, and it may not even be major signs of trouble, but when a person is driven by money, they're going to look for opportunities to get more. So you understand what I mean? So to me,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to build no relationship on that.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm thinking though, all right, if I'm a wealthy man,
Mhm.
see when some women want to be, like if a woman have her own career, she want to be with a man that got his career too, and so she'll be like, all right, so we're gonna be a power couple.
Mhm.
But a lot of men who already got money, they were like, I don't need to be a power couple with you. I need a wife.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? I need a wife. But a woman don't look at it like that. She looking at it like from the finance. We can pool our resources. So with that being said, it's like some women don't know how to be like team builders, because if both of us are providers, then something else in a relationship is lacking.
All right.
And to me, that's not like a balanced team.
I got you. So here's my
Yeah.
thing to that. If I'm a millionaire and I don't need you to I don't need your finances, us to be a power couple. I need you in other aspects. Then
Mhm.
I don't date a woman that's driven
Right.
based on career. I
Right.
go find me a woman that volunteers herself in a
Yeah.
shelter, that do humanitarian work, stuff like that.
Right.
But that's what I go look for. It's
Right.
pretty
Right.
women that do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
That's all. That's all
I
I'm
just think
saying.
though,
We
because
don't. Huh?
some women don't get that disconnect though. You know what I mean? They be like, well, why they don't, why certain guys I can't date? Like a wealthy woman can date down, you know what I mean, and date a guy that don't have like the money and the resources that she have. But then that's a risk too. But like to
I
get
think
to
that's less likely. I think it's more likely for a man to date down
yeah,
than a woman.
yeah. And
More likely.
because
Yeah. In this
believe it or not, women.
society.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, I think anywhere where a woman have more money, it is less likely for her to date down than it, and that's because she is trying to do what men don't naturally like. She's trying to protect her wealth, her assets, and stuff like that. So she looking at it like yeah. So if a woman come into Burger King and I'm working on fries, she not gonna be like she ain't gonna. She not gonna be interested in me. But if I
Yeah.
go in there and I'm a millionaire and I'm, you know what I mean, I see somebody that's attractive and they on fries, then you know what I mean, a man will do that. A woman not
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So that, yeah.
you
So
gotta
that's
keep that in mind.
right. So that's why I say I think it's essential you develop your indications based on you. Based on you. You have to really have a firm grip of yourself. And
Yeah,
to have that grip on yourself, it'll move you beyond other people's opinions, thoughts, these ideas of, all these societal ideas of things, and you just stay true to
yeah,
what's really going to make you happy.
yeah. All
You
right,
know,
yeah. So
that's how you identify your indicators based on you. But go ahead.
yep. All right, so yeah, man, I think we pretty much cover everything
Man,
and
this is
some.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to us doing more of these kind of conversations, man, because I
Absolutely.
know we can get people involved. You know what I mean? People,
Mm-hmm.
this good content for real. And
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
so before we get out of here, I'm gonna go through the red flags again that we discussed. We discussed the friends. A red flag is, you gotta look for who this woman surround herself with, her friends. If you know what I mean, and then all right, we got to look at the parents. and see, you know, like what kind of background she come from. Like her cheating history. Is she the kind of person that you know, cheat and then make excuses and try to have and justify by or even blame it on the man for cheating? Validation from social media. How she talk about her ex. Core values. With we both agree that the core saying the same core values is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, is she willing to contribute to your life and help bring out the best in you? All right, you know, I appreciate this conversation, man. This is a pretty good conversation.
Yeah,
Like I said,
I
I'm
think
looking
so.
forward.
I
Definitely
appreciate
having more.
everybody in the comments that commented, you know,
Yeah,
to really make us really, you know, go inside of some of the things we think and believe. So that's dope.
yeah, no doubt. Cause I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah, I ain't expect us to be on this long, but that was, you know what I mean. It was good conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I want y'all to check out my man Clayton, his book, My Love Letter to the World. You can get that on Amazon. You go ahead, Clay,
You,
tell them about it.
you always leave out trauma.
Oh, damn. Oh, trauma.
No,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
when you say it, yeah, it's all good. That's really the initial title, trauma, and my love letter to the world is the subtitle. But it was just me pouring my heart out about some of the things, you know, we lived through and some of the things we inflict on each other unbeknownst to us. And I try to shine light on how these things are actually working to push us to a higher state of consciousness and a better place. So you can go to
Yeah,
Amazon.com and pick it up. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Also make sure to go to urbanplatformfashion.com and check out the merch. We got hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, and short sleeve t-shirts. And yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody who chimed in on the chat. And yeah, we're gonna be doing these on a regular basis. So we look forward to seeing y'all, you know, seeing everybody back you know, the next time we go live. So make sure to hit those notifications. And let me see. I'm gonna put this banner back up here. Yeah, but yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, we out and we'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace.